The divisional round is here after a wild card weekend. What do we get for an encore? Let's look at the 4 games that will lead us toward the conference championships in the NFL. So, the NFL Divisional Round is here, and with that, we have some incredible matchups to get excited for here in the Divisional Round. Let's start with one that's happening just a few hours after I'm recording. It is the Denver Broncos at home against the Buffalo Bills. Broncos favored by 1.5 for Buffalo. It was a thrilling victory last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars, and now this week, it's an interesting test again, because I think you are facing a defense that is better, but an offense that doesn't scare you quite as much. I said in the X Factors, and I will say it again here, the big thing that Buffalo needs is a big performance from Keon Coleman. The Bills are not going to win this game if it is a grinded out defensive battle. They need Superman to have his cape on again. They need Josh Allen to be out there and being a dominant quarterback one more time against a Denver defense that is smothering. And we just I feel like they go a little underrated, honestly, because we've just accepted good defense in Denver. That's what they do. They are that good and that dangerous that it's just and by the way, they're also just one of the best in the National Football League. So when Buffalo has the ball, that is going to be such an interesting chess match with a dominant defense that the Broncos have and a Bills offense that was eighth in the NFL, eighth best in the NFL in pressure rate allowed. So they're going to have to get after Josh Allen. That is going to be the chess match, I think, that decides this for an offense that was top 10 in basically every category that you could find. Defensively, this team has struggled. And specifically, Buffalo has struggled against the run. Last week, I don't think Jacksonville did enough to exploit that. And I'm curious to see if Denver will this week. I don't know. They don't have the talented backs that Jacksonville has. I think Harvey will get there one day. I don't think he's that right now. But it's still Sean Payton, and he is still really good at attacking defenses in the ways that you need to. But we have also seen this season, they have put a little bit more emphasis on trying to get Bo Nix into a new category of quarterback. And I just don't think he's that guy. And I think that has come at the detriment of the offense a little bit here this season. So I'm curious to see the game plan that they come out with here against this Buffalo football team. But I think in the end, I have to go with Josh in this spot with Allen, who everyone has talked about the path that he has in front of him now. But I get to take points and have the better quarterback in the matchup. I will do that. We're going to go with the Buffalo Bills plus 1.5, and probably just a straight up money line pick here as well for Buffalo. In the next game, we have San Francisco taking on Seattle. The Seahawks favored by 7. They're not messing around when it comes to the points after we watched Seattle dominate this San Francisco team a couple of weeks ago, and I think we're going to see the same thing here. This is a great story for San Fran and what they were able to do against the Eagles, but when we look back on that game, I think it will be more about what the Eagles didn't do than what San Francisco did do. It's an amazing story that they've battled through all these injuries to win a round in the postseason, but this is a different animal. Now, this is a San Francisco defense that is top 2 in the National Football League. And I think it's an offense in Seattle that can take advantage of some of the issues that San Francisco does have on the defensive side of the football. So we're not going to do a full, both sides breakdown. I think Seattle has the edge everywhere. With the injury to Kittle, it's going to be a lot of CMC, a lot of Jennings, and that defense is just too good to allow that to happen. And then offensively, San Francisco's defense has struggled significantly this season. They were 25th in EPA against the pass against Sam Darnold, who is going to be able to just pick this thing apart, I think. So, yeah, give me the Seahawks here, and I will take them minus the 7. We go to Sunday, and it is the Patriots taking on the Houston Texans. New England is favored by 3.5. When Houston has the ball, CJ Stroud has to be better. He really struggled in that game. And the final score looks like it should with that one, but it does not, I think, represent the struggles that Stroud had, especially early. For the Texans, you have to hope that his struggles were just jitters in the early part of a playoff game, and now he has been able to work through it. No Nico Collins hurts them significantly because of how good this secondary can be at locking down the opposition pass. Like it's a really, really solid defensive team over on New England. But I do think some vulnerabilities can be had there. And they had a field day with a beat up Chargers offensive line a week ago. This is still, I think, a tough test for them. And I think one ultimately that Houston's going to be able to have at least a little bit of success with going forward. When the Patriots have the ball, that's the key to this game. This Texans defense has to be as dominant as it looked a week ago. And I think they will. I think with the issues that the Patriots still have a little bit on their offensive line, and that secondary is just, it's too good to get beaten by guys like Booty and late stage Stephon Diggs and all of that. I think this is where the Patriots are going to see that the quality of the opposition they faced this season was not up to playoff standards, and the speed and the power that the Texans can play with, I think is just going to be a little overwhelming for Drake May in this playoff game. I think he's going to do everything he can, but I think he's going to get beat up a lot. I got the Texans plus the 3.5 points. And then we close this thing out with the Rams against the Bears. You have the Rams favored by 4. It wasn't as dominant against Carolina as you would want it to be. And the Bears, I think, are going to be a pretty trendy pick here because, I mean, they're at home and they finished really strong against Green Bay. I have some concerns about Chicago's secondary being able to hold up here against the Rams, but also Chicago was 24th in defensive EPA per rush during the regular season. That two-headed monster of Corum, and Williams, I think is going to be a real problem for this Bears team. And then we talked about it last week or earlier this week in the X Factors. I think the athleticism of the linebackers for the Rams being a little bit higher than that of the Packers, and just the quality of them in general, is going to take a lot of the plays to Loveland away, and going to take a lot of those scrambles for Caleb Williams away as well. So I like the Rams here, minus the 4. I think they're the most complete team left in this playoff, and I think it sets up a really fun divisional matchup no matter who wins on the NFC side on Saturday in the late afternoon. So those are my picks for the NFL Divisional Round. I can't imagine I just went 4 for 4 on you guys agreeing with me. So let me know in the comments what you disagree with, and we can have some fun football chats down there. Also, if you enjoyed this, you can bring Couch Potato Diary with you wherever you go. We are available on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.